Hello, this is Jane Goodall. This year, the United Nations Day of Peace will be honored around the world, but in a world that is far from peaceful. There are major conflicts, genocide, household violence, human trafficking, violence against women, school shootings, and millions of people displaced from their homes because of war or climate change. In addition to this, there is an ongoing onslaught against nature, caused on the one hand by greed and unsustainable lifestyles, which are making unsustainable demands on finite natural resources, and on the other hand by those living in poverty, because then they may destroy their environment just in order to live by, for example, cutting down trees in their desperation to make some money from charcoal or timber, or clearing land to grow more food. And it's all made worse because of climate change and loss of biodiversity, and because of the terrible damage caused by war and conflict. And we should also acknowledge that a lot of harm is done because of ignorance, because so many people simply don't understand why protecting the environment is beneficial to future generations, and that if we continue destroying the natural world, it'll result in the extinction of life on Earth, including our own. That's why the UN theme for this year's Peace Day, which is Act Now for a Future World, is so important. Think beyond conflict. Think to the world we all would love to live in. Because if we look at the whole picture, we're bound to feel hopeless and helpless. But once we realize that even small actions cumulatively can make a big difference, we can start taking action to make the world a better place. Roots and Shoots is the Jane Goodall Institute's humanitarian and environmental movement for young people of all ages that I began 35 years ago with 12 high school students in Tanzania. And it now has members of all ages, kindergarten through university, in over 75 countries. Its main message is every individual matters, has a role to play, and makes an impact on the planet every day. And most of us can choose what sort of impact we make. Each Roots and Shoots group chooses 3 projects to help people, to help animals, and to help the environment. So, how does this program contribute to world peace? In one way, by bringing together young people from different countries, so they learn that the color of skin, the culture, religion, age, socioeconomic status are much less important than the fact we're all human beings. We can all laugh and cry and love and hope. This is a message that is especially important at the end of a war. I lived through World War II, during which members of our families and our friends were killed and cities were bombed, and we lived in fear. We hated the Germans. At the end of the war, many of my mother's friends were shocked that she allowed me to go to Germany to live for 6 months with a German family. The father wanted his 3 children to speak good English. My mother wanted me to understand that the German people were not the same as Hitler and his Nazis. And now some of my best friends are Germans, and the Jane Goodall Institute Germany is one of the most active chapters in Europe, making a difference. Today, many people have lost hope for the future, which, while not surprising, is awful, especially as many young people are really depressed. Suicide rates in some countries have gone up. The answer for all of us: take action. You may not be able to solve global problems, but there's a lot you can do to make this a more peaceful world, starting in your own community. Think about your own environmental footprint. Even small actions like saving water, moving towards a plant-based diet, helping in soup kitchens or animal shelters, raising money for the charity of your choice, or simply treating the people you meet with respect, treating animals with kindness. These are the kind of projects that our Roots and Shoots members are working on. And every year they celebrate the United Nations International Day of Peace. And not only on this day, but throughout the year, working to foster respect and compassion and to make this a better world. Our Roots and Shoots Global Office has pulled together many examples of the projects that different groups are working on that are related to peace. When I was appointed a UN Messenger of Peace, I had a vision, and I initiated the making of giant peace doves. They're made out of used bed sheets with the head made from a wire sort of cage or papier-mâché, and young people gather to fly them on long poles. One supports the head, which is usually a bit heavy, one at each wingtip, and two for the forked, well, slightly fan-shaped tail. All around the world, Roots and Shoots are making and flying them on Peace Day. Finally, it's so important to realize there can never be world peace until we can learn to live in harmony with nature as well as with each other. We all must work to slow down climate change and loss of biodiversity. Because, for example, if streams and rivers dry up, new wars will be fought over water. So, on this Peace Day, think about the actions you can take towards making this a kinder, more compassionate, and more peaceful world. Thank you.